Hi, today I'm going to talk about using tried and tested military strategies in order to grow your business. And some of the principles that I'll be talking about, if you take these steps, you'll be putting yourself into a position to scale your company and maintain advantage over changing markets and new competitors over time. The concept of business strategy is very powerful. People like to use it to impress others with the phrase, and audience will listen up when it's mentioned, but it's also overused and in some cases a misused phrase. Business leaders and thought leaders talk about emerging trends in business strategy with each passing year, but these strategies change over time. It's well known, and lots of people talk about the fact that 20% of businesses in every industry take about 80% of their earnings. This is because they have a time tested business strategy and one which encompasses basic principles. These are the principles that I want to talk to you about today. And these principles of war and business share a good deal of similarities, and both involve a clash of interests. So let's look at what these principles are. First of all, the principle of objective. Every action must have a clearly defined and actionable goal. That's the first principle of an effective strategy. And though it may sound obvious, I can't stress enough the importance of being certain of what you are setting out to accomplish and how you plan to achieve it. Business owners who define clear objectives for the company and the employees are usually the most profitable, and by a significant margin. And these businesses carry out operations in the most efficient and effective manner because each employee knows exactly what their role is and what is expected to be delivered and when. The next principle is the principle of offensive. Businesses like war in an intense fight of survival, and survival requires you to be on the offensive. As a multiple business owner myself, I'm constantly making adjustments to thrive in this climate. Challenging your competitors and winning battles is only the way to move forward, and every market has challenges, and only by taking these challenges head on can you create your own space. History will show you that you don't win a battle. A war is not won by being on the defensive. Rather, you'll need to identify strengths and, more importantly, the weaknesses of your competitors. Instill a relentless attack mindset and go on the offensive with new products, new services, and improved ways to reach your ideal prospects and how to communicate with them. Thirdly, the principle that I would like to talk about is the principle of mass. The principle of mass says to concentrate combat power at a decisive place and time. In other words, it's about exerting power at the right place and at the right time. When you apply this to business, this means that you should wait for the decisive moment before you seize the opportunity. And when that moment is upon you, only then you should concentrate all of your resources to achieve that desired outcome. This is often the practice by businesses that deal with seasonality. So major transactions are carried out over a small period of time, requiring a mass allocation of resources. We're coming up to Christmas shortly, and retail is a prime example of that. Next, we have the principle of maneuver. So what that means is you remain flexible and have enough maneuverability to pursue innovative and creative ways to better serve your customers. So despite all odds, and no matter what the competition does, look for simpler, cheaper and faster ways to serve your customer, increase sales and achieve higher returns on investment. The principle of maneuver requires you to use speed, surprise and economy of effort as key elements to defeat the competition. And if you don't move decisively, you'll stagnate. And when you stagnate, you risk going out of business. Maneuver is an act of initiative resulting in long-term business gains and sustainable growth. Next, we have the principle of surprise. The most common and classic mistake a business owner can make is to be predictable. This doesn't necessarily mean that you need to introduce a brand new product, but it can often be in the form of an improved and repositioned product that has been given a major overhaul. So in order to stay ahead of the competition, develop a competitive advantage with products, marketing strategies, processes, sales strategies, and with the adoption of new technology. Embrace new technology. Next, the principle of security. Protect your valuable assets and resources. Competitors are always on the outlook for vulnerabilities which they could exploit to gain an advantage over you. Social, mobile, cloud technologies have grown integral to the operations of most businesses, leading to higher levels of innovation. Security should no longer be a deterrent to this momentum. Rather, it's time for businesses to analyse and mitigate risks to acceptable levels and move forward. Next, the principle of simplicity. Everything in law is simple, but the simplest thing is difficult. The difficulties accumulate and end by producing a kind of friction that is inconceivable unless one has experienced war. As a strategic leader, you need to make several decisions as you plan ahead. What's important, however, is that these plans remain clear, succinct, and easy to understand if they're to be executed without any issues. So let's recap. What are the principles that I've just spoken about? The principles are objective, offensive, mass, maneuver, surprise, security, and simplicity. 7 principles, and by taking these steps, you're putting yourself in the position to scale your company and maintain an advantage against changing markets and new competitors over time. Thank you much.